If you want to be more frugal this year, your habits are a great place to start. So keeping that in mind, here are 10 simple ways to be more frugal in the coming year. And the first suggestion I have for you is to never go shopping without a list. I don't care if you're going to the mall, the grocery store, or the thrift store. Never, never, never go shopping without a list. Having a list when you go shopping not only reduces the likelihood that you'll buy stuff that you don't need, but it also ensures that you don't forget to buy things that you do need, which saves you time and gas money from having to make a second run to the grocery store to buy the things that you forgot the first time around. Of course, sticking to your list does require a certain amount of effort and willpower, which is probably why there's an entire genre of TikTok videos devoted to the trend of going to Target for one thing and ending up buying a whole cartload. But once you get good at it, it really is a game changer, and this one habit has probably saved me thousands of dollars over the years. Number 2 on this list is to save money by thinking like a monk. This is a technique that I developed as a way to stop impulse purchases from happening simply by using the power of your mind. This intentional spending hack was inspired by a mindfulness exercise rooted in Tibetan Buddhism, which is called the cloud meditation. And I learned about it in high school when my swim coach used to lead me and the rest of my team through guided visualization exercises. So with the cloud meditation, what you do is you imagine your mind as like a bright, clear blue sky. And when you notice random thoughts and ideas popping into your mind, you don't try to ignore or suppress them, but rather calmly notice them and imagine them floating away just like clouds in the sky. You can do the exact same thing when you find yourself feeling tempted to spend money on a whim, and instead of immediately grabbing the thing that you're tempted to buy and putting it into your cart, take a moment to pause, breathe, and notice the thoughts and feelings that are going through your mind. And then just like clouds in the sky, imagine them gently drifting away. I also have a little mantra that I like to say when I'm doing this, which is just because I like something doesn't mean I need to own it. And I would say that 9 times out of 10, if you do this, you're going to be able to stop that impulse buy in its tracks, which if you think about it means that you'll reduce unnecessary expenses by 90% or more. And considering that the average person spends around $750 a year on impulse purchases, that alone means that you would save $675 right there. So give it a go and see how it works for you. The next way to be more frugal is to find ways to cut back on or eliminate your recurring expenses. Recurring expenses are ongoing costs that are predictable and happen on a repeated and regular basis. This can be like rent or mortgage payments, utility bills or insurance payments, or things like subscriptions and memberships. And the reason that cutting recurring expenses is so effective at helping you save money is because when you make a one-time effort to slash your recurring costs, whether it's by downsizing to a smaller home to save on your monthly mortgage payment or canceling your gym membership, that one-time effort that you put in upfront is going to continue saving you money month after month going forward. Some of the things that we've done recently to cut back on recurring monthly expenses include things like comparison shopping for cheaper car and renter's insurance, canceling or choosing lower cost plans for a few apps and subscriptions that I use to run my blog and YouTube channel, and swapping my insanely expensive phone plan for a much cheaper one from Mint Mobile. And speaking of which, shout out to Mint Mobile, who I've partnered with to bring you today's video, because I switched to Mint a few months ago and I have been so impressed with their service and the fact that I can get the same wireless plan and even better customer service, to be honest, at a fraction of the price that I was paying to those other guys at Big Wireless. Mint offers premium wireless service for as low as $15 a month, and you don't have to sacrifice any speed, coverage, or data because they're built on the nation's largest 5G network. And what's even more beautiful is you don't even need to leave your house to save money by switching to Mint, because their digital eSIM cards make it so easy to sign up and get activated without having to leave the comfort of your very own home, which means that you don't even need to change out of your pajamas to save big money. And if you haven't already switched to Mint Mobile, now is the perfect time to do so, because right now through January 1st, you can get an additional 3 months free when you purchase a 3-month plan using the special link that I've included in the description box and pinned comment below. This offer is available on all plans plans, including the unlimited plan. And if you can take 15 minutes out of your day to click a few buttons and punch a few numbers to save a ton of money on your monthly cell phone bill, as a frugal person, I would say that a deal like this is a no-brainer. So if you want to save money, go to trymintmobile.com/A2ZenLife or check out the link that I've put down in the description below to get started for as low as $15 a month. Number 4 on this list of ways to be frugal is to cut down on food waste. Food waste is a huge problem, particularly in the USA. According to one study, the average US household wastes around 32% of its total food, which means that the annual cost of wasted food is around $240 billion, which adds up to around $1,866 per household. Can you imagine taking $155 a month and just throwing it in the trash can? Because that's basically what a lot of people are doing when they're throwing away so much food waste. So being able to cut back on how much food you're wasting can save you a significant amount of money each month. And here are some of my favorite ways to reduce food waste. First of all, it's good to know what you have in your inventory and check it before you go to the store to prevent overbuying. And then also create a meal plan and shop for ingredients according to that meal plan so you're less likely to buy food that you won't eat and going to end up wasting and throwing in the trash. And finally, you can also get creative with how you use your leftovers, like using overripe bananas to make banana bread or leftover rice to make stir fry or rice pancakes. And the next time you have leftovers, if you're short on ideas, all you have to do is go to Pinterest and enter the keyword your leftover plus recipe, and I can almost guarantee that you will find a ton of cool recipes on how to use up your leftovers and turn it into delicious food. And speaking of leftovers, number 5 on this list is double batching your meals to save time and money. This is a good example of working smarter, not harder, to save money. Picture this. You're in the kitchen, cooking up a storm, and instead of making just enough for one meal, instead you go a little bit further and double the recipe so that you have leftovers for lunch or dinner the next day. You're already cooking anyway, so it basically doubles the amount of food you have to put on your plate with little to no extra effort on your part. Time is money, and this simple hack saves you more of both. Number 6 on this list is to look for free ways to have fun. I know that back when I was in college, anytime I went out, I almost always ended up spending money, like going window shopping with a friend at the mall, only to end up buying a bunch of clothes that I didn't even want or need. And even when we tried not to spend money, like going to Barnes & Noble to sit around and read books without buying them, most of the time we still ended up spending money on things like muffins and expensive chai tea lattes.
I love chai tea. What did you just say? Chai tea? Chai means tea, bro. You're saying tea. Would I ask you for a coffee with room for cream? No.
Nowadays, I've gotten a lot better about finding free ways to have fun with my family, like taking long walks through the forest instead of going out and spending money, or going to the library to borrow books instead of buying them or anything else at the bookstore. Speaking of which, public libraries are a great money-saving resource because they're not only good places to borrow books, but you can also borrow other things like CDs, DVDs, and audiobooks, and even stuff that you might not expect like video games, board games, and puzzles. So if you're looking for free ways to have fun, definitely check out your local library. Another easy way to be frugal is to become a secondhand shopper. And that could mean going to either thrift stores or flea markets to buy things you need secondhand, or you could also check out online websites or apps like Poshmark, eBay, or Facebook Marketplace to find stuff that you want for a discount. I love shopping at thrift stores, and I found a lot of clothes that I still wear by shopping secondhand, like this blue shirt I got around 8 years ago for $1 on a color day at Goodwill. And even when I see something that I like from a name brand store, I'll almost always go and check if I can find that exact same thing shopping secondhand. So for example, I fell in love with the Hotshot onesie from Free People, so I checked my eBay app to see if I could snag it at a discount, and I was able to find the exact color that I wanted for $30 less than it would have been to buy it brand new. But one thing I do want to caution you about is to be careful when you're shopping secondhand and make sure that you're buying stuff that you actually need, because secondhand shopping can be just as addictive as regular shopping. Because if you're trying to save money, the last thing that you need to do is buy a bunch of stuff you don't need just because it's cheap, which is something I had to learn the hard way. And that's why number 8 on this list of ideas to be frugal is to exchange your unwanted clutter for cash. This is something that I've talked about in several of my decluttering videos, in particular this one where I talked about getting rid of over 90% of our stuff because the lion's share of that was sold either to people on Facebook Marketplace or through secondhand websites like eBay. As someone who practices minimalism as well as frugal living, I loved selling my clutter because not only did it help me earn a little bit money back, but it also made it easier for me to part with items that I had sentimental attachment to, like collectibles from my childhood, or jewelry or knickknacks from my parents and grandparents, since I knew that they were going to be going to someone who would love and appreciate them. I know that a lot of you watching this video are also decluttering your home as well as looking for ways to save money. So why not kill 2 birds with 1 stone by turning some of that unwanted clutter into extra cash? The 9th tip to be more frugal is to look for easy ways to earn perks when you do spend money. Because if you're going to spend money anyway, why not get paid for it, right? One of the things I did recently was sign up for a Chase Inc. business credit card. So now not only are payments and purchases that I make for my business tax deductible, but I'm also earning 3 times the points to put towards cash back, gift cards, travel expenses, and more through Chase Rewards. But even if you don't own your own business, you can still find easy ways to make money when you spend money. I also have a personal credit card that I use for non-business purchases that also earns me points and rewards. And then on top of that, whenever I need to buy something, I'll also make sure to use Rakuten to see if I could be earning cash back. A lot of you messaged me to say I blew your mind when I showed you how to use Rakuten in last month's video. So just in case you missed that one, all you have to do is follow my special link in the description box below and sign up for Rakuten with your email address. And then anytime you need to buy something, you can either go to Rakuten each time to run a search through their online portal, or you can make things easier on yourself by installing the Rakuten Chrome extension like I have. And that way, whenever you go to buy something online, you can see how much cash back you would earn at that particular store. So for example, the other day I went to go buy a Ninja blender, and not only was it on sale, but then I was also able to earn 3% cash back by using Rakuten. And apparently a lot of people were thinking like me, because as you can see, the blender set that I got is now sold out. Remember, the goal here isn't to go out of your way to look for things to spend your money on, but rather when you find yourself in the position where you need to spend money, to at least be aware that there are ways to use your money to earn bonuses and rewards for yourself. And finally, the last tip I wanted to share to help you be more frugal is to do spending freezes here and there. These can also be called no buys or no spend challenges, and they're a great way to save up a lot of money all at once or break bad financial habits. When I graduated college with $25,000 in student loan debt, one of the first things I did was put myself on a spending freeze. And that, coupled with other money-saving techniques, is one of the things that helped my husband and I eliminate $250,000 worth of debt in 5 years. Even though our family is in a much better position financially now than we were back then, we still make it a habit to do at least one spending freeze each year to not only save money, but also as a way to challenge ourselves and teach our children how to save money through the power of frugal living. And if you want to know more about spending freezes and how to do them, make sure to go check out this video that dives more into spending freezes and how to set rules for yourself, as well as how to modify it to fit your lifestyle and financial goals. Or I'll see you next week. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.